The Pantheon has been a genuine example of Roman architecture for centuries. The building remains intact after all this time, even after being burned down twice. The interior includes many different chapels and niches, each with its own artwork. And a bell tower was also included but later was removed. It is now a Catholic church, which has helped with its longevity. Today, the Pantheon is also known as the Church of Saint Mary of the Angels and the Martyrs. The Pantheon was first commissioned by Marcus Agrippa between 27 and 25 BC. In 80 AD, a fire broke out and destroyed the first Pantheon. At this time, Rome was ruled by Emperor Titus. The Pantheon was rebuilt for the second time under Emperor Domitian between 81 and 96 AD. In 110 AD, under Emperor Trajan, there was a big storm in which the Pantheon was struck by lightning, and it was burned down for the second time. The third time the Pantheon was repaired was in 125 AD under Hadrian's reign. The Pantheon was repaired in 202 AD by Emperors Septimius Severus and his son Caracalla. The Pantheon was originally dedicated to the Roman gods Venus, Mars, and Julius. The building is believed to be linked with the Hellenistic Pantheon, which was a temple dedicated to the 12 major gods and the king at the time. In 609, the structure was given to Pope Boniface IV, who then converted it to a Catholic church and sanctified it by renaming it to Saint Mary of the Angels and the Martyrs. By doing this, the Pantheon was able to be maintained instead of becoming a ruin, since it was now a holy site. It was also the first pagan temple to be transformed into a church. The porch or portico originally had a flight of steps, but later the surrounding ground was raised and the steps were no longer needed. It was originally covered with relief sculpture, which was most likely bronze. Architectural historian Mark Wilson Jones tried to explain the changes to the design and how it relates to the dome. Jones believes it once had been designed for monolithic granite columns. The porch is classic Greek in design, mixed with a Roman-style architecture that resembles Roman baths. The building is constructed with brick and concrete, but in the beginning it was made with marble to coincide with the porch. The interior, mainly the dome, is meant to be more extravagant. The dome covers the majority of the ceiling in the Pantheon, and it contains an oculus at the very top, which is the only place for natural light to enter the building. It is made with pumice and concrete mix with 28 coppers around the edge. It may be used to represent the heavens. Within the Pantheon, there are multiple niches and chapels when you walk in. Each section comes with its own artwork. It is best to start from the right and work your way around. This is the first niche, which is of Virgin Mary with Saint Nicholas of Bari from 1686 by an anonymous artist. The first chapel to the right contains 3 parts. The left contains St. Lawrence and St. Agnes by Clement Maloli between 1645 and 1650. The center includes Alterier of Melzolzo da Flori from the late 15th century called the Annunciation. The right is from 1635 by Pietro Bononzi called Incredulity of St. Thomas. The second niche is the Coronation of the Virgin Mary by a Tuscan school in the 14th century. This is the second chapel by Manfredo Manfredi in 1878, which is a funerary monument of the first king of Italy, who was Victor Emmanuel II. Next is the third niche, which is St. Anne with the Virgin Mary by Lorenzo Ottoni around 1707 to 1716. The third chapel consists of 2 parts. To the right there is Emperor Phocas donating the Pantheon to Pope Boniface IV from 1750. The center has the Virgin Mary with St. Francis and St. John the Baptist from the 15th century. The picture of the fourth niche has unfortunately been deleted and will not be shown or discussed. However, this is the fourth chapel, which contains the main altar, which was ordered by Pope Clemens XI and created by Alessandro Spicci in 1700 to 1721. Next is the fifth niche, which is from 1727 to 1729. by Francesco Moderati, labeled Saint Rossio. I, however, do not have a picture of the fifth chapel, so unfortunately it will not be talked about in this presentation. The sixth niche contains the tomb of Raphael. The sarcophagus is from the 1st century BC and it contains a Latin inscription by Pietro Bimbo. When translated to English, it says, "Here lies that famous Raphael, by whom nature feared to be overcome while he was living, and when he died, she feared herself to die." Above his tomb there is Lorenzetto's Madonna del Sasso from 1520 to 1524, and to the right of it all of this there is the 1609 inscription of Annibale Caracci. The sixth chapel is a funerary monument of the second king of Italy, Umberto I, in 1900, and his wife Margherita di Savoia in 1926 by Giuseppe Sacconi. The seventh niche is by Vincenzo Felici in 1700 to 1750, titled St. Agnes. The seventh chapel contains St. Joseph by Vincenzo de Rossi in the center, and on the sides there are the tombs of three artists and the Adoration of the Magi and Shepherds by Francesco Cosa. The eighth and final niche is by Andrea Camassi in 1638, titled The Assumption of the Virgin Mary. And this is it for the Pantheon and all of its historical and artistic glory.